You can use DOTween. This is a tweening library for Unity to use to animate UI elements and create nice transitions. So this is the effect we are going to recreate today. As you can see, the vacation panel is active now. And when I click on the games button, the games panel gets active, and all its elements, they have this nice animation. They fade in and they slide from right to left. So we're going to use DOTween to recreate this. Well, this is the same project, but without the animations. And the only thing that happens right now is when you click one of these buttons, these panels right here, they toggle between active and not active. So it looks like this. So real simple, no animation. As you can see, it toggles from active to not active. Okay, we're going to use DOTween to animate this. First, make sure you download DOTween and import it into your Unity project, of course. Well, next thing, I might explain a little bit how this setup works. I assume you could recreate this for yourself. It's not really that special. I have some buttons at the bottom here with a on-click event that calls a panel manager at the top here. This manager references these two panels and toggles between the active state. In code it looks like this. So you have the panel manager, and when you click on the vacation button or the games button, first it closes all the panels, and then it opens the target panel. And the panel just has the two methods, open and close, which toggles the active state. So you should be comfortable with recreating something like this yourself. Okay, now we're going to use DOTween to, first we're going to fade them in and out. So we're going to animate the alpha value of these components. And we don't need the active state anymore. Just first, I'm going to open these two panels. And we're going to write our DOTween logic in a separate question script that we attach to these text boxes, these question game objects. So add a new question script as a component. Right. And also add a canvas group. It's a really handy component because you can regulate the alpha value of the parent, and it will cascade through all the children. So you have to only worry about the alpha value of this parent, and then you can make it completely opaque or transparent. Right, same for these questions. First at the question script, then the canvas group. Yeah, and as you can see right now, the game questions are overlapping the vacation questions. But when I, for example, put 0.5 in the alpha value, you can see all the elements get a bit transparent. But for now, set them to 0. Because we assume that the vacation panel is the first one that's active. And active, I mean active because all these components have an alpha value of 1. And when they have an alpha value of 0, that means not active. Okay, and with In this question script, we are going to use DOTween to animate this alpha value of our canvas group. But first we need to get a reference to all these questions, and we're going to do that inside our panel script. So create a new field, question, an array of questions. And make it a serializable field so we can fill it from out the editor. Okay. Right, so here is our array. And we need to drag these questions inside this this array. And one handy way to do that is to click on the panel, lock it with the lock at the top right here, and select all your questions and drag them inside. Same for the questions panel. Right. Okay, next thing, inside our panel scripts, we don't need to use our active logic here because all our panels are active all the time. We're just going to animate the alpha value of our text boxes. So for that we need to loop through our questions. And X represents one question. And inside our question script, we're going to have two methods. One method show that gets called when the panel gets active, and one method hide that gets called when the panel gets closed. Okay, so show and hide. And now we can say x.show for close, we're going to hide them. All right. Okay, well, to make something visible, to fade it in, it needs to have an opacity or an alpha value of 0, and then we use DOTween to animate it over time to 1. So first we need a reference to our canvas group. I would like to pick it up in the awake method callback. So canvas group get component. We can use get component because this question script is on the same game object as the canvas group. Okay, and well, to fade it in, it first must have a alpha value of 0. We could do this. Alpha is 0, and next to canvas group do fade, and do fade is a DOTween method, but it's not working right now because we're not using the DOTween namespace. So make sure you do that. And now you can say do fade. The first parameter is the end value. Well, we want it to be fully opaque, so 1. And the second parameter is the duration of the animation. So here we say 300 milliseconds. And this could be it, but I would like to also, well, with all my animations, I set a custom easing function, because by default it uses the default easing function, and especially for fade ins and fade out, I would recommend to use a linear easing function, because easing functions other than linear they don't look that nice on a fade in or fade out. You just want a linear animation. Okay, and same for height. We can say do fade, but then to 0. Let's see what happens. Alright, that seemed to work. So yeah, when a panel gets fires the show method, all the text boxes are fading in. When a panel closes, they fade out. Well, next thing I want to add is, as you can see, all the elements, they animate at the same time, but I want a nice cascading effect. So the first one starts first, then there's a small delay, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. And to do that, we can use the set delay method of DOTween. For example, when I set this to 0.5, this animation would run after 500 milliseconds. Okay, but that would still mean that all the elements would animate at the same time. So we need to get we need a value that we can use to get that cascading effect. And to do that, you can use the sibling index of the transform. And the sibling index is the index this game object or this transform has in the hierarchy. And that's different for each game object. So for example, this question has a sibling index of 0, the second one has 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is an ideal value to get that nice cascading effect. I don't want it to 0.5 because that would be very long, so each element it would take 500 milliseconds after one another. So I'm going to set this to 50 milliseconds. And we want to do the same for the fade out. Right. Okay, so it is working. It's maybe hard to see because my laptop is a bit lagging right now. But it will be more pronounced when we are going to add the slide effect. That's what we're going to do right now. So now all our elements are fading in one after another, but we also want them to slide in from the right. And that's also something we can do with DOTween. So back to our question script. We can use local move to animate its local position over time. But first I want to get the default local position of this element. Alright. And now we're, to get a slide in effect from the right, we first need to make sure this animation starts from the right, then it goes to the left. So a handy trick is to, you can also use DOTween to do, these cheap transformations when you set the timing to 0. So something like this. So do local move X, say X position, plus 150 pixels on our canvas, over an amount of 0. So this will be instantly. We also don't need to worry about any easing functions because we don't need that. Next thing, we can do a do local move back to our default X position. We do that over 300 milliseconds. We're going to set an easing function in out sign. This is, I really like this easing functions, always looks good. So in out sign, and we also we can immediately copy and paste this set delay, because we also want the right to left animation to be delayed. Right, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to maximize on play here because this will make the whole game run more smoothly, so you can see the effect better. Okay, so the effect is there, but my laptop is really struggling right now, so it's not that smoothly. But try it for yourself, and it looks way better. Okay, so that's how you can use DOTween to create these nice little animations with really little code. It's it's a fantastic library. Okay, thanks for watching.